The Stage 19 time trial of the Tour de France was always expected to be very spectacular. I have the voice of cycling with me today, Phil Liggett. It was certainly that, wasn't it?
It was probably the best time trial I can remember for a long, long time in the Tour de France. These modern tours seem to be fought out in seconds, but today there was nearly a turning of the tables, a 2-second advantage of the first check in favour of Schleck. Contador must have freaked out there.
He did. Look, we spoke to Alberto after the finish today, and he said he was very nervous after he heard that first time check. But look, in the end, he certainly had what it took. It wasn't a great time trial by Alberto in any standards, really.
No.
He was down in the actual stage placings, but good enough to beat Andy.
Well, the wind was getting up all the time, and it was the strong man coming through. The ride of the day, I think, was done by Denny Menchov. He was a real strong man that pierced the leaderboard there from a late start. All of the prize winners of the day were in the early starters, of course, Grab, Schleck and Tony Martin, and Cancellara, rather. So I think that the time trial as such was won in the morning, but the battle for the Tour de France, of course, was at the end. And the thing about starting all the top riders at the end in the reverse order, they at least get the same weather conditions.
Sure.
And that building of the crosswind, if you look at the position of Andy Schleck on the bike, he's too upright. He's really got to do a lot of work about getting streamlined. Look at Contador, a different guy. And when the crosswind's like that, he was losing time and his strength was fading. But that is the best time trial Schleck has ever done.
It was. Now, if we think about the mechanical that he had earlier in the Tour as well, maybe he could have won this Tour.
My producer on American television said he timed the change, said he lost 39 seconds. Well, he's about to lose the Tour by 39 seconds. But I don't blame Contador for not waiting at all. He had to control Sanchez, he had to control Menchov. If you look at the pictures time and time again, Schleck at the time was faltering, but he hadn't stopped on the road when Alberto went past. But that's the Tour de France, and at the moment, I think the best man is winning. But he's obviously fallible now, and next year, maybe Schleck.
Schleck will be stronger for sure, and his brother will be back, Frank, so we'll see how that goes.
Obviously, he missed his brother Frank, and if his Frank had been here, then there's no question in my mind, Andy would have won this Tour de France.
Well, Phil, one more day to go.
Yes.
More of a parade to start with. It's still a race in the end, and the guys will, once they get onto the Champs-Elysees, really go for it because there's a lot of prestige in winning that final stage.
Well, yes, there's also the fact that Thor Hushovd has lost the lead now in the green jersey to Pataki. There's an outside chance that if Cavendish wins, he might get his hands on the green jersey, though I think it's highly improbable. But when we look back at this Tour de France too, Thor Hushovd has probably lost his win in the green jersey by the strike on the riders going into Spa when they were waiting for Andy Schleck, and that was organised by Cancellara. And Hushovd was one of the riders who was furious and was totally against that go slow. And as in hindsight comes his way, he might have cost him the green jersey.
Brings up the whole topic of rider etiquette, doesn't it?
I think, it's the Tour de France is too big to start worrying about other people's problems. That's the basic.
Yeah. Well, looking forward to stage 20 as we go into Paris and finish on the Champs-Elysees. Thank you, Phil.
Great stuff. Well done.
Thanks.